This lesson will be on Jimi Hendrix's acoustic version of his song Hear My Train Comin'. And to get your guitar close to the tuning he uses in that original video where he plays it, I just got my guitar tuned 2 whole steps below standard tuning. So for instance, my bottom and top strings are C's rather than E's. And depending on the file that people have on YouTube, the tuning can vary a little bit. So I just figured 2 whole steps below with the bottom C seems to be close enough. Of course, he uses a 12 string in that recording, so definitely if you have a 12 string, you'll be able to capture more closely that sound that he gets. But even if you have a 6 string, it's a great song to learn because there's a ton of great blues licks that you can definitely assimilate into your own playing. Yeah, so what I'll do is just go through the song once, as close as I can get it, and then we'll get into the lesson. Just starts out the song with these really subtle hammer-ons at the very beginning, very rapid. Hardly even hinting at the fact that there is a 10th fret bit of notes being played behind that 12th fret. So you'll be starting on that 12th fret, and if we slow it down, you'll get that. But of course, if you play it up to speed, you'll want to get that sound where you just barely catch that hammer on in the sound that you're projecting from your guitar. Almost like you're nipping at that 12th fret. Once you get that, you'll be on to the next string of notes that he plays, where he goes. So that's just 10th, these are all notes between the 10th and 12th frets on the top 2 strings now. Again, more slowly. And on that final 12th fret of the 5th string, you'll want to just add a little bit of vibrato. Then what he'll do is this. Okay, so to capture the nuance of what he plays here, I think it's really important on that first hammer-on from the 10th to 12th fret on the 5th string that you almost delay it. So hold on to that 10th fret until the last moment. Notice that I'm holding on to it. Then you'll be landing on the 8th fret, back to the 10th, and a little bend towards the ground, so a pull bend on that 5th string. Just a little, I don't know, almost like about a quarter step. Then hammer on, and back to the 8th fret. And at this point you'll want to just throw in a little bit of wrist vibrato. So delay. Pull bend, hammer on, and then vibrato. Okay, and to get that vibrato, if you don't yet know how, it takes a little bit of getting used to. You'll want to practice it very slowly because you're going to be using muscles in your arm and your wrist that are very fine that you won't be used to using if you don't yet know how to do this. So just practice really slowly, and with the side of your finger about right here, you'll just be pulling down on the string. So notice with my first finger, on that side of my finger, I'm twisting my wrist such that the string gets pulled. And then soon, once you get used to that and develop your muscle memory, you'll be able to do it quite rapidly. Okay, so moving on to the next little lick he does. This one's actually really, very typical blues lick. Okay, but of course it still takes a lot of care to emulate the sound that Jimi gets, because for instance, what I think is really important here is to get that really quick slide. So of course, 9th to 7th fret on the 4th string, and then a slide on the 3rd string, sorry, 9 to 7, then landing on 5. Then 7th fret of the 2nd string, low octave, open bottom string. Okay, so now getting into the articulation of it. It's really important to, I think, fall through that slide. You'll try and hear what I mean by that. Dig in and do an aggressive slide from the 9th to the 7th. If you really dig in and play with a lot of conviction, you'll notice that this song will start to become, you'll notice yourself starting to play a lot closer to the original recording. Because of course to Hendrix these licks were all natural, so he was able to play with a lot of conviction. Okay, so then the next part has him playing this. Okay, so that's just open position stuff. Open string, 3rd fret, open 2nd string, 2nd frets on the 2nd and 3rd strings now. So I've just barred that. Then a little tiny insinuation of a bend at the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And then he does this. So that's 3rd string. And then 2 really quick hammer-ons to the 2nd frets for the 2nd and 3rd strings. So a really important thing to make sure you discipline yourself on, especially for this song, is cleanliness of the strings. I can't really do a great job of it, but definitely if you listen to Hendrix, he was so clean when he played this song, which is even more remarkable since it was, I believe, the first time that he'd ever touched a 12-string guitar. So really focus on clean hammer-ons, particularly for this. Then he'll hit the bottom string, then play around with the treble side strings. Okay, so then bottom string, insinuation of a bend at the 3rd fret, then this little lick. So that's open 2nd, 2nd string, 2nd fret, open 3rd, open 2nd, hammer on, and then he kind of strums a little at this chord. So that's just as if you're playing a D7, where it's a little triangle. You'll just be doing that, but starting with your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Same sort of triangles. 2, 1, 2. So once you've got that little chord and you strum a little at it, a little cleaner than that, you do this. 2nd fret, 2nd string, 2 strong hammer-ons into the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And you finish with that bottom string. Then he does a really interesting lick. Okay, so you'll want to sweep across the strings from below and catch the strings with your left hand. Then he does a little version of what, I don't know, what reminds me of a Lightning Hopkins type move. So what you'll want to do is with whatever finger you feel comfortable with, I like to slide on my 3rd finger. You slide from 2 to 4 on that 4th string. And notice that if you listen to the recording, he hits the top 2 strings open when he does that. And of course you're sliding into the note that the 5th open string is. But what makes for a cool effect that he does is he kind of delays that slide. It doesn't have the same effect if you slide in really quick. He does this. Little delay. And so you'll want to hold on to that 2nd fret for as long as you can to the last moment, then you slide up. So once you slide, as I just played, you then hit the top 2 strings open, and then he hits the 5th string open, then the 5th fret of the 5th string. So then he'll slide back down. So moving on from that, he moves into the 4. So then you'll be bending a little tiny bend on the 3rd fret of the bottom string. Hitting the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, open 2nd. Then he does this really clean, beautiful strum with his thumb that I can't really get. I think actually that's how it's done. You must rake through the strings. And at this point he starts playing with his fingers rather than a pick. So what I did, if you notice, and when I played through the video, or through the song in the video, I dropped my pick just to play with my fingers from this point on. So he does this. After you do the rake, he does. So this is, if you're used to playing this, that it's the same kind of shape, so you're hitting that power chord and then playing around on the 3rd and 4th frets of the 2nd string, anchoring with this power chord shape. Then he does this little like, playing it twice. So that's 5th fret of the 3rd string, open, then the 2nd fret, and then the 2nd string open. 5th, then a 2nd time. And you'll just be doing the tiniest little bend on that 5th fret. Then then he hits the second and third strings open, and then both of those strings again, but now second frets for each string. Okay, again, finish with that bottom string. Sorry about the tuning issue, it's just so hard to tune one of these guitars. What he does then is this little lick. So it's really important, again, particularly for this lick, to get the articulation that he gets. So what I think of it is falling into that hammer on from below. If you listen closely, you'll hear what I mean. Okay, so now, as regarding the notes that he's actually playing, he's doing a little hammer-on trill on that second fret of the third string, and then he does this super quick, anticipating the beat. Hammering onto the second fret, going back to the third string, open fourth string, second fret. And I of course know that a lot of you can figure this out just by hearing what I'm playing when I do it slowly, but I know there are some people who like to have the frets read out. So once you do that, then he goes back into this 4 shape, but he now plays it a little differently, a little more relaxed. So then what you'll be doing there, similarly to last time, playing around with that second string. But now you'll be hitting octaves, or 1 octave. Second fret of the 4th string, and the second string. Octave. Then you'll be playing the same notes as that little double lick that happened before. Which finishes off that section of the song, and actually the introduction of Hear My Train Come In itself.